Welcome to the 2022 Strategic Needs presentation by the Highland Township Fire Department. My name is Ken Chapman, Fire Chief for the Township. On August 2nd, 2022, you'll be asked to approve a millage. This millage is for fire and EMS services for the Township. This millage will be replacing a millage that expires in December of 2022 and will not be collected until December of 2023. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to explain some of the issues facing fire departments across the country, as well as what we've done as a department to improve our services and to address these issues. The first issue we're going to discuss is staffing. Staffing is an issue across the country. It doesn't matter whether it's the fire service, a police agency, or an EMS agency. All the public safety agencies are having a hard time replacing people as they leave. If you look at the screen, you'll see two different headlines. One talks about a House bill, one is a job posting. The House bill was legislation that was taken on by a state legislature to try and recruit new people into the fire service, into the volunteer ranks. On the right side, you'll see a job posting board. This is from the Michigan Professional Firefighters Union webpage. There are 32 to 35 communities that are looking to hire one or more full-time positions across the state. These postings are left open until the positions are filled, and they're all fighting for the same individuals. And those individuals are in a small group that are pursuing fire department jobs in the state. This slide illustrates what your Highland firefighters have done to meet the needs of the community. Over the past 6 years, we've adjusted our operational model and created a combination fire department. A combination fire department means that you use both full-time employees as well as part-time or paid-on-call employees. On a daily basis, our goal is to provide 4 people per day. If successful in August with the new millage, we'd like to increase that daily staffing up to 5. That gives us a better operational model to provide emergency services to the community. The next issue we'd like to discuss is the collapse of the private EMS system. On the screen in front of you, you'll see 4 different articles, all of them saying the same thing. EMS is in life support. The one that gives us the most concern is with no ambulance available, injured cyclist calls Uber. This occurred in the city of Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor was similar to Highland. They had their own fire department, but EMS transport was provided by a private ambulance company. The fire department responded to a scene of an injured cyclist that injured his leg. They sat on scene with him for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, they called an Uber. The Uber came, the firefighters loaded the victim up into the Uber, and the Uber took the patient to the hospital. An ambulance never showed up on this scene. This is not just an issue in Michigan. This is a national crisis. If you Google collapse of EMS, you'll get article after article after article. Doesn't matter whether it's the north, south, east, or west part of this country. All areas are experiencing the same issue, and it's a national crisis. We have already been impacted by the collapse of the private EMS system. Prior to August 2020, we relied on a private ambulance company to provide advanced life support EMS transport for our residents. Over the past few years, we began experiencing some delays in their response. They were coming from further distances away, whether it was White Lake or Waterford, eventually Pontiac. They were responding from a great distance. And when you're talking about a medical emergency, every second counts. If somebody goes into cardiac arrest and the ambulance is coming from Pontiac, even running lights and sirens, you're talking 10 to 15 minute response. Brain death is irreversible in the event of a cardiac arrest after 10 minutes. So that was not acceptable. So we petitioned the state to upgrade our services from basic life support to advanced life support. The differences between basic life support and advanced life support is basic life support can do wound management, wound care, they can do spinal immobilization, they can provide CPR, they can attach a automatic external defibrillator. On the flip side, advanced life support has much more invasive procedures. We can provide cardiac monitoring, medication administration, IV and IO access, defibrillation, cardioversion. It basically brings the emergency room right to your living room. So in August of 2020, we were advised by the state that they approved our license to upgrade to advanced life support. That was pretty fortunate because just 2 days later, we received notification from the private ambulance company that they were going to no longer be able to respond to our township. They just didn't have the staff. The next issue we'll discuss is our run volume. Over the past 20 years, we've experienced a 140% increase in run volume. In 2002, we responded to 732 calls for service. In 2021, we responded to 1,746 calls for service. And again, as of August of 2020, we began responding and transporting advanced life support. We've addressed the increase in the call volume by increasing our staffing. As mentioned, over the past several years, we've had to adjust our staffing to the current point that we're at now. We try to staff up to 4 people on a daily basis. Currently, all staffing is done out of Fire Station 1 located on Highland Road. Once Fire Station 2 opens on Wardlow, we'll staff both Fire Station 1 and Fire Station 2 whenever we have 4 people on duty. With the approval of the new millage in August, that will allow us to increase our staffing to 5 people daily. Why is this important? If we have a 5-man shift with a minimum of 4 people on duty, that will ensure that we have at least 2 ambulances available at all times. With the increase in run volume, we've also experienced an increase in multiple runs. Multiple runs are runs coming in at the same time. It's not uncommon in our township to see all 3 ambulances on the road attending to different patients all at the same time. The new millage will help us to provide ALS in a more timely fashion to our community. This slide illustrates our millage rates. The orange bar graph identifies our call volume over the last 16 years, and the blue line identifies our millage rate, starting in 2005 at 1.45, going to 2021 where it's decreased over the past 5 or 6 years. What's a millage rate? This is the definition of a millage rate. Not very exciting and kind of confusing. Let me illustrate it a little easier. If your home value is $200,000, you buy a home this year for $200,000, the taxable value or state equalized value is half of that amount, or $100,000, sometimes less depending on how long you've been in the house. If you take that taxable value times the 1/1000th, that gives you your multiplication rate. So a $200,000 home value has a multiplication rate of 100. So if your fire millage in 2004 was 1.45 times the 100 multiplier, that means you paid $145 a year for fire and EMS services from the township. What we're asking for in August of this year is to increase that to 1.85. 1.85 using the same formula on a $200,000 home, $100,000 taxable value, $100 multiplier. 100 times 1.85 means that you'd go up to $185 a year for fire and EMS protection from the township. To put this into perspective, each residential property pays a special assessment of $163 a year for garbage pickup. Not that garbage pickup isn't important, it is very important, but so is fire and EMS services for our township. How do we stack up to our neighbors? This slide illustrates it. On the left is the current millage operating rates. On the right are the proposed millage operating rates. So in August of this year, you'll see 3 of the 6 communities going out for an increase. Highland Township is asking for 1.85 millage for operations. Milford Township will be asking for 3.25. Springfield Township will be asking for 2.75. This slide illustrates the millage rates for area departments that provide comparable services to your Highland Township Fire Department. When I say comparable services, I mean an all-hazard, advanced life support EMS transport agency. As you'll see by the slides on the left, that is the current operating millage rates, and the slide on the right is the proposed millage rates for August. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation. Your Highland firefighters are dedicated to providing the highest level of care and service to their community possible. With the approval of the millage in August, this will allow us to increase our staffing and also enable us to optimize our services that we provide on a daily basis. Over the next couple weeks, you'll see presentations and town hall meetings that we posted to be held at Highland Township Fire Station number 1. We invite you to come up, ask any questions, take a look around. Anything we can do to explain the millage and the need for the millage, we'll be happy to do. Thank you for your time. Have a good day and be safe.